struck me with sudden force, just as Nicky reached the sudden force that tore from his body into mine. I smiled up at him and then extricated myself carefully, swimming toward where I saw my suit floating, at the opposite end of the pool. When I reached the spot I recovered it and tossed it up out of the pool and onto a chair. It was utterly delightful to be swimming utterly free, but after what I had paid for the damn thing I had no intention of leaving disappointed. I drew myself up out of the pool and perfectly naked sat down at its edge, dabbing just my toes in the water. "Hey, Nicky," I called out to him. "How do we get loose to bring us a couple of drinks?" "Like this," he replied, and then screamed the name at the top of his voice. I could swear I heard the windows rattle. But Luce must have heard it too, because in a few moments she was there. I asked her to please bring us some beverages, and as she turned to go back into the house, Nicky came swimming toward me. "You're a cool doll, you know that?" he asked. Sitting there like that, totally naked, giving orders to the servants. He shook his head in admiration. "You certainly know how to pull it off." "Thank you," I replied, with mock politeness. I really wasn't interested in making any conversation, with him or anybody else for that matter. I just wanted to stretch out and let my body talk to the sun, and see what the burning one would answer back. But this was not to be. Nicky insisted on intruding himself into my presence and breaking the sweet silence that hovered about the hacienda with his inane chatter. There really was nothing that the big pencil had on his mind once he had made the first few opening gambits of a conversation. Since that had passed between us 3 days ago, he was getting to be a bit of a bore. I determined that the next time he opened his mouth I would put something in it that would serve as a stopper to ease this conversation. Not that I wanted any more sex. Not really at that moment. All I wanted was some peace and quiet. I didn't realize how late in the day it had got 10 until quite suddenly Tony and his band materialized from just beyond the far end of the pool, which I now knew was the terminus for the track carved out for the Land Rover. He walked over to us smiling while the other men filed indoors. "There, that's so much better," he greeted me. "So much more sense than running around in the hot sun, isn't it?" I had to agree that it was nice. "Won't you come out and join us?" "I would love to," Tony replied. "Just as soon as I can." With that he nodded to me briefly and went back toward the house. "I wonder if he'll really join us like this." Nicky laughed with a gesture that indicated our own nudity. "I've never seen Vandelli with anything more than his pants off. I guess he thinks that it would destroy his dignity or something," he laughed. The loose-lip pussy had finally given me the clue that I was looking for. I tried to control my excitement by drawing in deep breaths in hopes that he hadn't noticed. I sipped my drink to cover my expression. Tough Tony Vandelli. So that was who this Tony was. I couldn't imagine for the life of me why it hadn't hit on me before. But I had always come to think of Tough Tony Vandelli as not having been among the living for almost a decade. Then again, a life Vandelli would be quite on in years by now, and Tony's luxuriant head of thick black hair coupled with his sexual vigor certainly belied the appearance of a man in his 70s. His skin, his eyes, his voice, were all those of a much younger person. I let my mind take me back to everything I could recall of the Vandelli days. He had been a big dealer in drugs of all kinds at the time of his disappearance. He was noted for being one of the few who dealt with a wide assortment of merchandise, everything from pot to the hard ESP heroin. He had disappeared completely at a time when the mob had taken over a number of auto-wrecking establishments. With their sophisticated equipment, abandoned or wrecked cars could be compacted in a matter of minutes to a flat piece of metal sheet about 3 feet by 4. It had been guessed by many of the authorities that murder victims would be left in the trunk of the cars at the time of compacting. And flesh, bones, blood, everything that teemed with the metal of the car. Those sheets were then resold and reused in the manufacture of other automobiles or parts. It had always been thought that the once tough Tony Vandelli was now and forever unrecognizably part of somebody's fender or bumper. Now I knew that the real story was nothing of the sort. When Tony disappeared, it had been to spend a quiet hiatus in the clinics of Switzerland. a year to keep the therapy working. And since Tony's specialty had been a mix of both hard and soft drugs, those barbed wire enclosed fields out there could be growing anything. I knew that for sure now. This new information burned my mind like a firecracker exploding in the night sky. The image of night served further to set me to wondering how well guarded the fields were after dark. Perhaps that would be the time for me to go reconnoitering. Then a more ambitious plan began to form in my mind. Whatever was growing out in those fields could probably be fire. I was interrupted in my thoughts by the reappearance of Tony himself. Now that I knew who he was for sure, I gave myself a good chance to study his features and figure out why I had failed to recognize him initially. A careful, surreptitious analysis of his features assured me that I should not be too harsh with myself for not having detected them. In addition to the hair transplant and the skin treatment, Tony had also taken the trouble to have a new nose sculpted. A consultant artist had refigured the